Hi, my name is Kara Baldwin and I am in Retail 242 Professional Communications. Today I will be diagnosing a SWOT analysis of my findings when I attended a recent Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park. So I attended the baseball game on March 29, 2019. It was a 7 o'clock game and the weather was slightly breezy. I walked from my apartment and it was about a 5-minute walk. Our seats were behind home plate, and during the game I went to the concessions and got popcorn and a soda. For the next few minutes, I will be explaining the SWOT analysis that I performed at the Gamecock baseball game. SWOT stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. It is a way to analyze the sporting event and the venue as a whole. So let's start with strengths. The first strength is the ticket price. Since I am a Carolina student, my ticket is for free, and they also have guest tickets along with that free ticket. The second would be concessions. Concessions is extremely cheap and affordable, and I was able to use my Carolina card, which allowed me to not be able to use my debit card or have to bring cash. The third would be the cleanliness of the stadium. There were more than enough bathrooms, and every stall and sink was cleaned in a timely manner. Continuing with weaknesses, the first weakness would be parking. There is no set parking lot. This didn't pertain to me because I was able to walk. But since there is no official parking lot to be managed, my car would be left feeling vulnerable to any misfortunes. The second is the lack of sponsorship areas. It was hard to tell who the official sponsors of Gamecock baseball were because there were not many areas for them to hang signs or to do any advertising. The third weakness would be weather. This is also a threat, but in terms of weaknesses, if there is any type of bad weather in the area, the game is more likely to be canceled, which would result in less sales for tickets and concessions. There are many opportunities at Founders Park. The first would be to hold outside events. These outside events could be philanthropy events for sororities or any other company, social functions, or events like high school championship games. These events would be able to bring extra revenue and a lot of buzz for not only the stadium, but for the high school or the outside company. My sorority actually held a Fireflies event for our philanthropy, and it was able to create a lot of buzz and a lot of philanthropy money for our sorority and for the Fireflies Stadium. The second opportunity would be the shuttle service. Right now, the shuttle service is only open to USC students and faculty. By opening this shuttle service to everyone with a valid ID, it would eliminate the weakness of parking because people are going to be able to park in the parking lot that is right next to the shuttle service pickup and drop-off center. The third opportunity would be healthier options. So far, the concessions menu consists of greasy foods such as popcorn, fries, and hot dogs. By implementing something like a salad or a healthy wrap, the concessions are able to target every single market, and more college students are leaning towards healthier lifestyles and healthier alternatives for food. Let's now discuss the threats. The first and the biggest threat would be the Fireflies. The Columbia Fireflies are the minor league team for South Carolina. Their biggest advantage over Gamecock baseball would be their use of alcohol sales. Many consumers of sport would also like to consume alcohol during their events. If people are deciding between a Gamecock baseball game and a Fireflies game where the tickets are relatively the same, they may want to go to a Fireflies game with the hopes of alcohol sales. The second would be weather. We talked about this briefly in weaknesses, but weather delays are an inevitable and an unavoidable problem in almost all sporting events, but especially in baseball because the venue is so open and so flat. The third threat would be any other activities and events that might be held during a baseball game. This year was March Madness that was held in Columbia, South Carolina. Many fans had to pick between going to Columbia Fireflies games, Columbia baseball for Gamecocks, or to March Madness at Colonial Life. Any other events such as social functions, weddings, parents having to take their kids to any school functions or extracurricular activities would also pose as a threat to Gamecock baseball because they are constantly having to decide and outweigh any option between Gamecock baseball and these events. I have just explained to you the SWOT analysis that I performed at the Gamecock baseball game. In my findings, I have found that the strengths outweigh the weaknesses, and this could be because the stadium is fairly newly built. I've also found that many opportunities are simply renovations or add-ons to already existing practices in the ballpark. Lastly, for threats, weather is always inevitable. And in my opinion, if you do not have competition, the venue has no room to make growth or to set new goals. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you learned something about not only SWOT analysis, but Founders Park and Gamecock baseball. Thank you.